Hi everyone, my name is Emily Braithwaite. I'm a faculty research assistant with the Oregon State University Turfgrass Research Group. I'm going to talk today about the OSU School IPM program and some of the research the Turfgrass Group is doing. Back in 2009, the state of Oregon passed a law that requires all kindergarten through 12th grade school districts in the state to implement an IPM plan. Under the requirements of that law, it actually restricts available pesticide options to a pre-approved list of acceptable low-impact pesticides. And essentially what that means is that they cannot use any pesticide with a signal word of warning or danger. They are limited to only caution labels. As part of that IPM plan, the OSU School IPM program provides education to public school employees with the goal of helping reduce pesticide use, limit pest populations, and mitigate the costs associated with pest management. Annual training events are required by the law, and since 2011 there have been 95 training events covering the whole state of Oregon. There are approximately 10 per year, which target 1,255 schools across 197 different school districts in Oregon. Tim Stock leads the OSU School IPM program, and he provides a majority of the indoor education sessions. Our OSU Turf team assists him by providing the outdoor turfgrass education component. So from June through August of each year, we each travel hundreds of miles across the state with Tim to provide our training events. And here's just an example of the 2019 training events and the location across the state. To supplement some of the training for the outdoor education for turfgrass management, we initiated a series of trials to evaluate and optimize some of these IPM recommendations. We wanted to focus on the primary cultural management practices, mowing, fertilization, and irrigation, in the absence of herbicide applications. First, our mowing study, we took observed practices from IPM training to assess how different mowing heights and frequencies influence weed populations. So we looked at 2 and 4 inches at weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly frequencies. We've been assessing weed populations in these plots from 2017 to the present using grid counts. Although we've been managing and evaluating these plots since late 2017, it's taken several years to actually establish significant differences between practices, and so far the main difference that we're seeing is between mowing height rather than frequency. And this is kind of following along with some research that's been shown in other areas of the country that mowing height can significantly affect weed encroachment. Our averages over each year of the study are showing that the lower mowing height of 2 inches has more weeds than the higher mowing height of 4 inches. The second trial was the fertilization rate trial, and we also took observed practices that we'd been looking at from previous IPM trainings and assessed their effects on weed population. So we took annual rates of 0, 2, and 4 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet, applied at 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet on each application. Similar to the mowing study, it's taken several years for these effects to build up with the management practices that we've been doing, but lately in our most recent ratings, our findings have been that either rate of annual fertility, either 2 or 4 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet, has significantly reduced weed populations compared to no fertility at all. And in fact, this is the first year that we're starting to see a significant increase in weeds in those non-fertilized plots. For the final trial, we assessed irrigation effects on weed encroachment. And now our summers in Oregon, it's rather typical for us to go for prolonged periods without rain events, upwards of 100 days in the summertime. So our irrigation treatments were applied using PVC frames with 5/4 Rainbird fixed spray nozzles in each corner, and they had an output of about 1.5 inches per hour. So all of our supplemental irrigation was applied with these frames. Our treatments, we looked at no irrigation during the summer months, 1/4 inch applied 4 times per week, at 80% reference ET replacement applied 4 times per week, and then 1 inch of irrigation per month. So not necessarily to keep the turf green, but looking to prevent major death and dormancy. And to date, we've not really seen any significant differences between weed populations, but we have observed some interesting results in the fall of each year in these 1 inch of irrigation per month plots. So this photo was taken in September of 2018, just a few days after the first major rainfall following the summer drought. We got about 1 inch of rain over the course of 2 days. And what we noticed in both this year and again in 2019, that the plots on the bottom right here, these are the plots receiving just 1 inch per month from June through August, sorry. They recovered much faster than the non-irrigated plots, despite them both having similar visual quality during the summer months. So this was rather interesting from an IPM training standpoint for us, because many of our school districts have very limited resources, either budgetary or state mandated, and irrigating infrequently in the summer may help improve fall recovery time. To summarize, we found that mowing at a higher height of cut in the summertime and fertilizing with at least 2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet annually can significantly reduce weed populations in the absence of herbicide applications. So all 3 of these trials have been managed without herbicides. And then at least 1/4 of an inch 4 times a week is required to maintain acceptable surface quality, but irrigating infrequently with high volumes can improve fall recovery time. This is a long-term study and the plots are still being maintained and rated. It's taken several years for these effects to build up, but we've also secured funding for an additional study using these plots with the Specialty Crop Block grant program. So alongside a USDA soil scientist, we're going to evaluate the effects of turfgrass maintenance practices on carbon balance and soil carbon accumulation, and investigate how to enhance accumulation of soil organic carbon in order to reduce the climate footprint of turfgrass. And these are some of the funding sources that we have received, the ODA and the Northwest Turfgrass Association. Thanks so much for your time, and don't forget that you can join our Zoom discussion on September 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific to ask questions of our turfgrass team. ODA and GCSAA credits are available, and the website is beaverturf.com, which will give you the link for the Zoom. Thanks.